Hello and welcome to a CitizenCon 2019 summary. I wanted to quickly touch on each of the major points and highlights that were shown during CitizenCon, what they sort of mean for the game, and I also want to talk about what it was like being there. There was a huge amount of panels that showed off new gameplay and tech, and that sort of stuff too. So the gameplay demo, the main keynote stuff, showed off some of the near future gameplay that CIG have planned for the Persistent universe. We saw the Kraken Privateer. The Carrack has a few differences from its concept, and that basically was its rear thrusters and a couple of other little bits, and that's caused some disappointment to people because of that change, although I actually quite like it. I'm sorry if that causes anger. The demo showed microtech and the new planet generation and new tech behind it, new Babbage, its landing zone there, new biomes, new architecture, a helpful hologram when they were walking around the actual city there, multi-part missions and various ways of completing them, stealth and takedowns, cloth and improved item interaction. We saw weather and environmental effects, which in turn may require armor or gear to protect you. Dynamic weather looks very cool though. They also showed off some AI additions and interactions there. One of the huge things they showed off was a jump point with a gate that helps stabilize it, and them traveling between the Stanton to Pyro system via that gate, which has you push through the jump point like rapids basically down a river and requires you to avoid obstacles and steer within the tunnel, otherwise you could take damage, is the idea there. Something much more tactile than you would be otherwise used to with games where you're just, you know, traveling and then hands off. At the other end of that jump point was a new star system, pretty empty, but apparently it was real. It has space weather and a different star. It was the Pyro system. Now, there is a lot of cool stuff that they showed there, and to put this a bit in context with the other panels throughout the day, they talked about some stuff that's going to be coming in Alpha 3.8, so before the end of 2019. Planet Tech V4. This provides big improvements to procedural generation and the rendering of planets and moons, less popping in of assets, better levels of detail, and generally more assets and biomes, much more scalability. It should have resource improvements as well for people getting frame rates and all that sort of stuff. This will see all moons and planets change to get these improvements, and we should see that largely in 3.8. Server-side object container streaming. SOCS is incredibly important server tech that is having its first implementation in 3.8. Not its last implementation by any means, it's going to keep on being updated, but this allows servers to stand by areas that don't have players proximate to them and then turn them back on, sort of like spin them back up when players are proximate to them. CIG may now start experimenting with higher player caps in servers in the short term because of this. This should see improvements in the verse too for lots and lots and lots of different stuff, but all of the different systems that are built into Star Citizen will make use of server-side object container streaming basically in some way, and it was gating a load of tech and a load of new gameplay area, a load of features by having to wait for it to come out effectively. There are new ships coming to 3.8 as well. The Argo Mole, a new 4-crew multi-miner ship. It has 3 manned mining laser turrets, so it's going to be a ship that you can outfit how you want and then work together to mine different nodes. The Cutlass Red has been delayed until January, Carrack until February, and the Prowler until March, but they're still all in the 3.8 branch. There was also rumours of a Crusader Starfighter, and we saw a little leak of this recently as well, which I thought was going to be shown at CitizenCon, but it could be straight to flyable for 3.8, or it could just be a concept ship coming soon. But we also have platform persistence here as well. So platform persistence is incredibly important because it's one of the reasons that Star Citizen isn't considered an MMO yet. I mean, there's other reasons too. There's not enough players in a server, and they don't affect the universe permanently. And we don't have persistence. So persistence is a step towards that, obviously. So the platform persistence is the ability for Alpha UEC and ship purchases and item purchases to be saved between patches. So basically, they save your character, they save your the money that you've earned all in game, all your purchases between patches, so that they don't have to have as many resets. Or if they do have a reset, they can potentially port that information over. It does still mean that we will have resets and database wipes sometimes, but hopefully much more rarely. That's the idea behind this. There's new missions as well, so a whole slew of new missions for 3.8, and 3.8 should be very, very playable as a patch. They are literally pushing the boat out, at least that's what they've said, because of their staggered development process, and because of how they've been developing it. They want 3.8 to be as playable as possible, and to have a lot of the old problems gone away. So hopefully a load of the persistent bugs that we've had since the start of the persistent universe will have gone. And yeah, I'm hoping for a playable 3.8. To start 2020's releases though, and some stuff that's coming in 3.9, there's going to be even more new missions for 3.9 with some new multi-part ones that they showed in the sort of like gameplay demo. There is also going to be prison gameplay. Now, there was a whole panel on this at CitizenCon on the second stage. It's a really planned and developed system. Version 1's going to have Klesha Automated Prison on the moon of Aberdeen in the Stanton system, and it will see criminals spawn there if they die to security or bounty hunters when they have an appropriate criminal level. Now, when you spawn there, you are stuck there unless you either escape or you pay off your sentence. Now, you can wait to pay off your sentence. As long as you're logged in, you'll be accruing merits, and each of your crimes will have sort of like a merit penalty that you have to pay off. So you're working towards release by earning merits, and you can do that by just chilling out online or by mining in the facility below. I mean, you can bet and trade them off other inmates and stuff like that as well. There's going to be missions associated. The idea of this facility is that you would get some free gear, so you get like a mining tool and a helmet, and then you go down and you get some minables and then come back up and you get some merits based on the minables you've got. But you can also trade your merits with other inmates. You can buy better gear, so you can sort of like mine for longer or mine more difficult nodes, that sort of stuff there, and then leverage that to make more merits. Some people are going to live in prison and sell merits, I'm sure, but there are potential escape routes and missions associated with prisons as well, and it's looking like it's got its whole own game mode almost in game here, and I really like the idea of it. There'll be more prisons in the future, but maybe just one per system in lawful zones. There'll probably be other ways that people will be dealt with on in lawless space. If there's like a human presence there, maybe they will have brigs and things like that. Through 2020, they are working towards a lot more as well. There's the Theatres of War game mode, which should be coming early 2020. So this is sort of like an objective-based Battlefield 5 Rush-style arcade mode, and then you either compete to defend or assault objectives in sort of like combined arms combat with the scale of Star Citizen. So there's ships, there's ground vehicles, there's different classes. It was very rough, but it was good fun. There's a huge amount of potential there for it because, you know, people enjoy objective-based gameplay, and I hope that they look towards Unreal 2003 and 2004's objective gameplay and put that in the future as well. I think that's the sort of thing that they are going to be going for there. Maybe they'll do ship assaults and things like that as well with this sort of like gameplay mode, and it will help balance the game is the idea, but very much like that idea, should be coming early 2020, at least to the PT or EVA Carty, and then as it gets more fleshed out, it'll get chucked in the game live. There's going to be even more missions in 2020. They are really, really working on the like dynamic mission system. We saw at CitizenCon a really, really interesting way that they want to do the economy. Tony Zerovic, in his panel about the economy and simulation, showed that they are able to track and simulate all these probability volumes and NPCs that literally are consumers themselves and will take missions and will help with the sort of manufacture of goods, and it all creates this dynamic but stabilized economy, which is stabilized by the NPCs. But you also get these boom and bust cycles based on new sort of like zones opening up, new goods being available. If they find a new mine, that could really upset the economy briefly or maybe even long term. Really, really cool stuff there. And then pirates come along and they affect areas based on their value and how much risk and reward it is. It was very, very cool. But again, they are working towards dynamic weather, server meshing, full persistence, or full platform persistence, as well as opening up the Pyro system in 2020. Now, server meshing might be further out. That is true, but some of the prerequisites and optimizations for server meshing, they're likely to come in, and it does sound like CIG are pushing that as hard as they can. They do want to get server meshing in if possible in 2020, though it's much more likely to be early 2021 at this stage. They unveiled various concepts as well. The Kraken Privateer, which is going to be more of a mobile space station version of the Kraken, replacing a large amount of its cargo area with 10 modular shops. It replaces its Dragonfly base as well, and these shops can have custom archetypes and be run by NPCs, and this is going to probably go on sale during the Anniversary Expo on the Drake Day on the 30th, I believe. So that'll be tomorrow at time of recording. There are 4 other ships that they were talking about that are in concept as well that they're working on, a Tavaran fighter, a ground mining vehicle, a mobile refinery ship, and a Xi'an cargo ship. There is a massive amount that I got to see, participate with, and people I got to meet by being at the event as well. I sort of want to talk about what it was like actually being there rather than what they showed, because there was some stuff that you would only have seen if you were there. So the second stage stuff will go up on YouTube at some point, but as of yet, like the ships panel and the UI panel and prison panel, that's all stuff that you won't have seen yet, but will go up soon. The shop and community booth area was fantastic. It had a bar, various food options, merch, Cillian lore stuff, more of the game was sort of like brought to life here. There was loads of organisations there, and it was just quite a cool little place, or quite a big place, where you could hang around while you're waiting for the next panels, or if you wanted to drink. The bar even had a fizz hologram. It was big enough that it didn't feel packed in like sardines there, and you could get served at the bar, which was good. Being there and meeting people was amazing. I love community events like this, proper fan fest where I can talk to nerds about computer games and drink. Perfect. Not having to buy my own drink was obviously pretty awesome. I had to angrily sort of like buy a little bit of Madness and a couple of other people drinks. I do appreciate the kindness. It was awesome. Thank you very much for, if you were there on the day, for chatting to me, for shaking my hand, and for buying me drinks if you did. Even Caged Geek even bought me some food. Thank you. I just don't understand. Thank you so much. Being in the first group to test Theatres of War, the sort of like new game mode, seeing Sean Tracy, very, very happy, winning both those games as well that I played of Theatres of War, coming second and first on my team. Hashtag Team Tryhard. Getting to talk to Luke Presley, Sean Tracy, and Dave Coulson at some length was fantastic, as well as Jay Lee. Hugging Jay Lee for 10 minutes. That dude is a legend. Appearing on the community stream that I didn't really realise was on the main screen for some reason. Being able to chat about Star Citizen and the fact I was really, really enjoying myself. Seeing the end keynote live, as well as the second stage's prison and ship presentations, were pretty awesome. The volunteers that CIG had were absolutely amazing. So I think they were supposed to have like 100, loads drop out. They sort of like know they do, so they get a good amount. I think 51 had actually turned up and were working there on the days leading up to CitizenCon and the days after, and on the event, obviously. And these people were working so hard, it was insane. They are really, really good people. Hats off to you. I don't wear a hat, but if I did, I'd take it off. I got to meet Morphologist, who's amazing up-and-coming YouTuber. Absolutely love him. Rexzilla, the shouty man, awesome streamer. Wayland and a load of the other corp members. Loads of some of the big organisations there. Loads of test people. Captain Richard, the Matadors, the French and Spanish community guys. I saw Moist Noodle, Caged Geek, Texas Skulls, The Few. Lots of friends that I hadn't met before, like Harbinger, who's just released a best-selling fantasy novel. Hamish, who I haven't seen in ages. The girl that shook my hand for 5 minutes and then said I'd met her in Frankfurt. I certainly hadn't. I hadn't been to Frankfurt. I had to say to her at one point, this handshake is taking longer than I expected, but I am enjoying it. It was beautifully awkward. It was very nice to meet you, though. Andy's. So I got to chat to Game Glass Andy and My Radar Andy. Both of those are awesome people. I hope to help shill their products and work with them again in the future soon. Anything that's a product that I will use, I will happily shill for. A load of CIG staff came up and said hi, which was awesome, because I got to ask them loads of questions. Loads of them watch my videos. Yes. You know you're making it when CIG staff come and shake your hand and thank you. Some of them apparently got into Star Citizen because they watched my videos and then they found jobs with CIG after that. Big ego stroking. It was amazing. There was cake. Some people thought it was a lie, but there was a massive anniversary chocolate cake at the end of the day. So some knots. I was very ill after CitizenCon. My throat, I could not talk for like a couple of days properly. It was, yeah, it hurt to talk. It was shredded my throat. I'm still having problems chatting now. CIG were clearly going for extravagant at the event as well. They had an ice sculpture of a Carrack. But how much was spent on an ice sculpture of a Carrack? You can pay me to dance on a podium probably for the same amount for the whole day. I am much happier when they make things they can reuse, but I suppose if they do, then they have to store that stuff, and they wouldn't have to store a melted Carrack. I think I'm just a bit annoyed that I didn't take any of the water from the melted Carrack and then sell it as bottled Carrack or bathed in it and have it as BoredGamer bathwater or something. I was extremely tired. On the Friday, I drank a little bit too much, and then the Saturday, I stayed out as long as I could, but I was done by like 11ish. I was just dead. The price of alcohol in the official pre-party was ridiculous. £7 a bottle, monstrous. There was not enough time to watch the panels and meet everyone. I'd actually like CitizenCon across more days, at least 2 to 3, with less overlaps of panels. I haven't even seen the UI one or the cosplay one or the language one yet. There's still panels I have yet to watch. I was disappointed that we didn't see the Titan suits or anything tangible in the Pyro system. I mean, it's good that they had it there, but I wanted to see the Ruin Station or planets there. I was expecting more ships to go on concept, like a big anvil ship. Squadron 42, or lack thereof, that's probably the biggest disappointment for me. I really thought they were going to start their marketing campaign for it. I think that CIG really need to sort of like think about getting the game out within the next 18 months. Squadron 42 Episode 1 almost certainly should start a marketing campaign before that. That's my genuine expectation of that, because they sort of like need to put their money where their mouth is, sort of thing, with a product. I would like to mention that personally I would have preferred the main keynote speech to be at the start of the day rather than at the end, because that puts the whole CitizenCon into context. It also means that I could have then interviewed devs properly on or off camera. So on camera, most of the case, they couldn't answer any of my questions because it was stuff that was going to be revealed later in the day, and I would have been able to ask better questions had it already been revealed, stuff like that. So I understand that they might have wanted to have their main presentation when more of the world was awake. Admittedly, it could just be a UK thing that they have to have it later in the day. I'm just moaning because I can. Would I have gone to CitizenCon if it had been in the US? Well, maybe not. It's a little too far for me to travel, and I do want to be able to cover the event in a timely manner. UK and Frankfurt are much more doable for me, but it was awesome being there, and I'd always do a watch party or something, I suppose. I would like to see a Star Citizen Persistent Universe roadmap to completion, so listing all of the planned features, ordering them in some logical order, roughly based on their prerequisites and priority. Nothing concrete, but I just want to see like a big list of planned features that are sort of like, this is what the game's going to be when it's considered release. Sort of like on paper. Actually, I could probably do that. That sounds like content for me, putting a page together for that and tracking that. Anyway, I'd like to know what you think. Did you enjoy CitizenCon? What did you think of the gameplay demo? Do you like CitizenCon's current focus? When do you think we'll see more Squadron 42 information and stuff? Potentially at the end of this year, or are they going to be saving it for the next year or next CitizenCon? Is next CitizenCon going to be all about Squadron 42? We did overhear a rumour last year, or at least Montoya and Batgirl did, of them doing a Squadron 42 launch party at Christmas. So that could be this Christmas or next Christmas, or it could just be a rumour. Who knows? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For November, it's for a Cutlass Black game package and CitizenCon 2948, last year's goodie pack. All you need to do for a chance of winning is comment on any of my videos made during November 2019. More details below. A quick bit of shilling as well. Shadow provide remote access to high-spec gaming PCs as a subscription service, so you don't need to maintain your own gaming PC. You can leverage the power of your internet to turn your phone, tablet, laptop, or home PC into a monster. They are taking pre-orders for their new hardware configurations, scaling for 4K gaming, up to 32 gigs of RAM, and a GeForce Titan RTX, which I am very much looking forward to playing Star Citizen on. Links below, and use the code BoredGamer to get a discount. I also use NordVPN, which I've decided to continue to support, as they appear to have one of the best VPN services currently available at an affordable price. If you're looking for a VPN, consider them, links below. Thank you so much for watching my video to the end. If you would like to share my video, comment, subscribe, like, all that sort of jazz, ring the bell, that all helps content creators. Also, if you want to further support the channel even more, there's Patreon, there's direct donation, there's the YouTube join button as well, which gives you access to some more sort of like exclusive content from me. Thank you very much for watching, you take care, and I'll see you in the verse.